Hey YouTube, it's Alex here with Two Yanks and a Kiwi. Most of you guys know me as Point Shooter, but I'm doing my first video for Two Yanks and a Kiwi tonight. This is my review, or I guess a demonstration really, of my Altoid Survival Tin. This is a variation on the SAS Combat Survival Tin, which is common amongst survival-minded guys. A lot of guys carry a pocket survival tin. I never really did, to be honest, until recently. I was looking at them and I always thought they were kind of hokey, that yeah, it had some of the essentials in there, but you're always better off with a knife, a fire steel, and a tin canteen. But a pocket survival kit like this can actually add a lot of utility to your kit. So it's something that's handy to have. You can carry it all the time. So part of the reason that I decided to bring this up on Two Yanks and a Kiwi is because this is patterned after the SAS Survival Tin. Now the contents are quite a bit different, but that's what gave me the idea to build one, was researching New Zealand and understanding about their military. The SAS generally carries a survival tin like this, and New Zealand has their SAS, their Special Air Service, and so I decided to do this in New Zealand style. And this was something that Lee and I had talked about, duct tape, wire, and glue. We had talked about the essentials, what would be the kind of things you could carry. And some of the contents might surprise you, some of the contents you'll probably expect. But let's pop the lid. Also, this is smaller than a standard BCB British SAS Survival Tin. This is a smaller size. I will give you guys the dimensions in an annotation and also in metric for our overseas viewers. But let's pop the lid and see what's inside. So, everything's packed in there pretty good. Right off the bat, we've got fishing gear inside. We've got 4 hooks and 2 swivels. There are small hooks and large hooks. The larger ones, I'll have to annotate the size, but these are just standard eagle claw, non-snelled fish hooks, bait holder fish hooks, which means you'd put a worm on them or some other sort of bait. There's also artificial bait in the kit, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right off the bat, this is probably going to surprise people who come over from the Point Shooter channel. A wire saw, what's that doing in his kit? Well, up until today, I had always bashed wire saws, and then I was on the phone with ING Noob, James, the co-host of this channel, and I said, you know, I think I'm going to try the wire saw, because I've been watching all these SAS survival videos, and I was thinking, you know, maybe a wire saw is not a bad idea. So I took my 24-inch wire saw that I showed in my terrible bushcraft video, and I cut it in half, because I had a feeling that a shorter saw would work better, and sure enough it did. Instead of getting hung up and not getting bound in the wood all the time, a 12-inch saw works really well. I'll give you guys the metric. What I did was it had one side had a crimping ferrule attached, which is where I put a paracord loop, and then on the other side I took a electrical connector and crimped that on, and I folded over the wire inside so it's nice and sturdy. It's not going anywhere. This little saw can cut up to probably an inch to maybe an inch and a half. I haven't tested it on anything bigger than that. For you guys overseas, that's around 3 centimeters. So this adds some function and utility to the kit. Definitely a good item to have, but you need one that's shorter, in my opinion. Don't try to pack a larger one in there. It wastes space, and you don't need that long. You can't do things that are 3-4 inches in diameter, in my opinion. I've never had success with it. You're better off having a large fixed blade knife like the excellent Condor series of knives like the Hudson Bay, or Lee's favorite, a K-Bar BK7 Becker knife. So something like that would give you chopping ability. But this gives you a nice in-between. Next, you guys probably recognize Leatherman Squirt PS4. Excellent little pocket multi-tool, pliers, screwdrivers, knife blade, file. You can use this for everything from cutting bait or gutting an animal to sharpening your fish hooks. It has an excellent file. It goes in. Next would be one way of fire starting. This is a spark light with 4 tinder quicks, and you can see it gives you a nice hot spark. This is definitely one of my preferred ways of starting a fire because it's one-handed. That if you had to make a shower of sparks, this does it for you. There's also the blast match, the Ultimate Survival Sparky, but they're all too big to fit in the kit. But the Aviation Spark Light is one that I like. Next, we've got a button compass. This is my favorite compass of all time. This is actually out of a a zipper pull thermo compass. Eddie Bauer made this one, but you can get the identical one by Coghlan's. It is a non-liquid filled compass. Of all the button compasses I've tried in my life, every liquid filled button compass I've had has failed on me at some point. This one is a jeweled pivot point. Yeah, it spins around more than a liquid filled will, but it is accurate, it is reliable. I have used it for navigation, and I would absolutely trust my life to it. It's a little bit under ½ inch in diameter, around 1 centimeter. So it's very small, but it's very accurate. Obviously, you're not going to be taking degrees off of it, but for north, south, east, west, orienting your map, this is something that could get you home if you were lost. Next, we've got a pack of matches, just standard restaurant-style matches. If you had your preference, I would get MRE matches, which are damp resistant. But again, if these get wet, yes, you can dry them out. But if they're wet, they're not going to ignite, which is what's nice about the Sparklite, is that it will work once you dry it off, wet or dry. So even if it's been in the water, as soon as you dry it off, it's going to work. It's just like a Bic lighter. So next, we've got a small keychain flashlight. This is just a fake photon light. These are like 99 cents on eBay. If you were going to, because this is just a backup to an EDC light, I put a cheapie in there, but if you were making this your primary kit, I would put something like an iNova microlight in there, or a genuine Freedom light. But because this is just a backup, this will give you a couple hours of runtime. You can switch it on for constant on, but this is just a backup light for me. Next, this is something that's pretty cool. This is a genuine US survival fishing kit made by Specialty Products. This came out of my U.S. Navy SRU 31 survival kit made by Specialty Products. It is basically just 2 tiny micro fishing hooks and some line. But it's a nice little kit, and for me, I like to carry mil-spec stuff because it gives me sort of a morale boost, because I like to use my survival kits that I've collected. Again, I'm leaving it in the package because it is mint in package, but if an emergency situation came around, darn right I'm going to pop it out of the package and put it to use. So it's got a fair bit of line on there. I have seen these open before. They've got some line to them. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing. And there's other cordage in the kit. Next would be some safety pins. There's 3 of them in the kit. We'll dig the rest out. 4 Katadyn MicroPure tablets. These are my favorite water purification tablets. Potable Aqua also makes chlorine dioxide tablets, but these are the ones that I have, the Katadyn ones, the MP1 tablets. I hear nothing but great reviews about them. They seem to work real well. So I have 4 of those in there, so you can do 4 liters or quarts of water. Next, along with that, would be a condom. This is just one that I have in there. I would go with ones that are, you want ones that are non-lubricated, non-spermicidal. And if you have an allergy to latex, you're going to have to take that into account. I don't, so I'm able to pack a latex condom. But this, when you put it inside of your sock, can hold up to about 1 liter of water, a quart of water, 32 ounces. Good thing to have. Next would be a small pencil. This is just one that I cut down, shaved down to size. You can see it's not perfect, but if you had to write a message for a rescuer or leave some sort of trace, make a mark on your map, it's something to have. Next would be a P38 can opener. The one thing that I really dislike on the Leatherman Squirt is that it does not have a manual can opener. It lacks that and makes it a non-perfect EDC tool, in my opinion, a non-perfect keychain tool, which is why it rides in the kit instead of on my keyring. Adding a P38 can opener gives you a nice solid screwdriver and one of my favorite can openers of all time. Next, we've got some picture wire. This is just cheap picture wire, but I've got a fair bit of it here. There's a couple feet worth of snare wire here, and yes, this does work as snares. I have used it as such. When it's all 7 strands together, it's got a fair bit of strength to it. Yeah, you're not going to take down a deer with this, but for small game, it's going to work fine. You could also use this for fishing if you had to. You could use this for gear repair, shelter making. I have 4 little spools of it, and I like it a lot. I like it that it's braided, it's twisted together, so it's 7 strands, so you could break it apart if you had to. You could make a pot holder out of this. The other day I fixed an electrical connection just to test using this. Didn't have anything else with me. Obviously not recommending you do electrical repairs with this, but this is pretty handy stuff. You can use it for all kinds of things. And why did it work? Because I had this kit in my pocket. You'll be surprised what you can use the contents of this kit for. Not just in a life or death situation, but sometimes around the house or somewhere. you know, such and such happened. I remember one time in college, I had forgotten my pen ran out of ink and I didn't have a spare. So what did I use? I used my Swiss Army signature, which had the little pen inside of it. You never know when something in your pocket is going to come in handy. Got another safety pin here. These are pretty cool. These are actual dehydrated bait, and they're little. You soak them in water, and they balloon up to about 6 millimeters in size. And you stick this on your fish hook, and it works as bait. These are crawfish, and I forget what the other scent is. These are out of a Speed Hook military survival fishing kit. That's the only place I've ever seen these. If you can't get these, go with Berkeley Power Bait or something like that, some sort of dehydrated bait. Yeah, you can dig for worms, but it's nice to have some bait in your kit. And these are just 2 stuck together. Next would be some painkiller. I personally like Aleve, but you need to be careful. It is a blood thinner, so if you have ulcers or bleeding issues, you don't want to take this. You want to pack Tylenol or something like that. Aleve, naproxen is what I like for pain relief. There's one more tablet in there. So it's a good thing to have. Next would be a package of Blistex. This is petroleum jelly. You can use it to start fires. You can use it to for all kinds of purposes. It's basically like Vaseline, and it's in a nice little single-serve tube. Next would be a packet of bacitracin, basically Neosporin. This is just an antibiotic first aid ointment. So it's nice to have if you got some sort of cut, because you need to protect against infection in the field. We've got a couple more safety pins in there. Next, we've got 2 energy sheets. These I've actually not tried, but I hear they're okay. You put it on your tongue, it dissolves, and it's supposed to give you that caffeine boost. If you're in a situation where maybe you were injured or had to hike out all night to get out of a situation, this might give you that boost that you need. And it's the most compact form of energy stuff that I have. I do not recommend that you take energy supplements, energy drinks, energy strips, energy whatever, without talking to your doctor, which I have, and they're not really recommended because people abuse them and they put too much caffeine in their system. But for myself, and again, you take this information at your own risk, I think that there's more reward to having them, because in a situation it might give you that pick-me-up that you need. So I pack them. And this is just a small adjustable fishing sinker that I have in there. It's a lead one. If I had a non-toxic one, I'd put it in there, but this was all I had. And you can use this with the small hooks. So that's the kit. Also, there's some Band-Aids in there. I don't want to pull them out. There's a couple Band-Aids in there and one large one. So this is the kit. It doesn't give you a lot, but it gives you a good start. You've got a cutting tool, you've got a combustion tool, you've got some cordage, you've got a container to purify water, you've got first aid, you've got the wire saw. There's a lot of different multi-purpose use gear here. So this is my version of an SAS Survival Tin. Please feel free to make a video review or a video response, and definitely send me your comments and feedback, because I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. So this again is my first upload for 2 Yanks and a Kiwi. This is Alex saying, peace out guys, take care and stay safe.